G'day you wonderful people, welcome to Adventure Together. My name's Al, try name Lookout, and today I am in Gothenburg, Sweden. Sweden's second largest city, and I'm here to take a look around before I head back to Copenhagen to get a flight back to London. So let's go and have a look around this beautiful city. That building up there that I just showed you is the Gothenburg Natural History Museum. It looks really cool. I love all the red brick, and kind of reminds me of the Greenwich Observatory a little bit. It's pretty cool. I've heard about this. This is a scale model of the solar system that goes all across the city. So if you go to the Natural History Museum, you can see the sun, and as you walk away from the Natural History Museum, they have scale models of how big the planets are in relative distance. So that's pretty cool. So this pretty cool building is the Slottsskogen Water Tower, built in 1899, and it's a high point in the park that was just behind where I was staying last night, so I thought I'd come up here. They say that sometimes you can go up to the top for a view. Doesn't look that way, looks like it's pretty closed today, may only be open in the summer. No way in today. Let's have a look around. Looks like I'm back at the New Jersey High Point. It's very similar. This is what the tower looks like from the back side. So I've come to a part of this park where they keep wild ponies that were brought back from extinction, or close to extinction, called the Gotland pony. Apparently it's the oldest horse type animal in Sweden, and was almost wiped out due to the expansion of agriculture. So apparently a handful of enthusiasts have brought it back, and they're half wild, very hardy, able to withstand very cold temperatures, and there's a couple just here. This is one. There's another. I wonder whether these are just used for breeding, or they are actually sort of here for a little bit before they return to the wild. They look a little bit too big to have just been here to be cared for until they're ready to be on their own, but I don't know. They look pretty hardy. We've got some goats. Apparently these are Yent goat, and they've been in Sweden for about 4,000 years, domesticated for 3,000 years. Here's another animal fact for you that I know about goats, and that's that they can see almost 360. They have their eyes on the side of the head, and their pupils are shaped in horizontal slits that mean that they can take in from about here all the way around to the back of their head. And same thing on this side, so the only thing they can't see is directly behind them, but all they need to do is move their head like that and they're able to see behind them. Cool. Just seen a very rare species of waterfowl, so let's have a look. These are called ducks. So apparently a little animal fact about these ducks is that children love to feed them bread. So there are quite a few other animals that are in those enclosures, and for complete transparency, I am not a fan of keeping animals in captivity. It's not something I really like. I don't go to zoos or anything like that, but I feel like, given the signs up there describing all the different animals, that apart from the ducks, of course, everything's there for a conservation effort to help improve numbers, and that's where I feel like, yeah, we're allowed to intervene in nature where we, through agricultural expansion or urban expansion, have wiped up habitat for these animals, it's right for us to get involved and try and get those numbers up to as high as they can be, high as they were before we got involved and started cutting down their habitat. So yeah, not ideal to have animals in enclosures and make them a spectacle, but still, this I think done for the right reasons, not like a zoo that seems to just be for entertainment. On a more positive note, we're at a high point on this park in this hill, and you can see a few buildings of Gothenburg in between the trees here. Reading up on what these are, the little shack thing on the left is a 16th century wooden house, and on the right a larger wooden house, but that one is from a couple of centuries afterwards. And that big tower at the back is a clock tower that was on some docks, but I can't see a clock on it, so it must just have bells that ring out every hour or something like that. So as you can see, this one is from around 1750, year 1750. And that one, it doesn't have a date, it just says 16th century, sort of sometime around the 1500s. I like the grass roof. It's something that seems to be coming back. Looking at these home design shows, they love doing it. I love this quaint looking cottage. It looks like something out of a sort of fairy tale illustration, but yet has been adapted to a police station. When you die, do you want a plaque on the bench, or do you want someone to carve your face into a rock? This August Cobb was the person who, I think, manicured the lands for and organised this park back in the 1800s. It's funny when people say, if I went into the past or I went into the future, all I'd have to do is just breathe and it would change civilization forever. You know, the butterfly effect is real, and they don't apply that logic to now. They just feel like everything they do is futile. Like, I'm not going to make any difference. What difference does it make if you do this or do you do that? It's not going to change the world. But you think if you go back in the past, you're going to change everything? A bit weird. But someone like that, who dedicated their life, given a park that hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people have used since his death, goes to show you can change the world if you want to, even if it's just in a small way. This is Anadelskerken. It's a church I've probably mispronounced the name of, and I think it looks really cool. There's really good brickwork on that. Out of the park, back in the city, more things to see. I've come to the top of this hill where there's some 17th century fortifications, and there's a really good view of the city from here. This is the fortifications. This is the King's Redoubt, and it's right up top of this hill, and apparently they cleared a sight line so there were no trees, so that they could shoot people from all angles. And this is what the fortifications look like from above. Little scale model here. The building behind me is the Gothenburg Cathedral, and that's what we've walked down from the fortifications to come and see. a very quick visit into the cathedral. It seemed like it was, to me, quite plain inside and out, and I read that on one of the reviews as well, that said that when I was looking for information, there was somebody who said the same thing. But it was very nice. There was a lot of gilding in there, and so I think the one in Lund was very pretty as well, and I think that one is my favourite of the ones I've gone to see on this trip. So this building is the city building, the city government building, and the statue is of Gustav Adolf II. Of course, seagulls have no respect whatsoever. It's like, yeah, I'm up here. And what? I've come to Cafe Andrew that runs a vegan buffet, and that vegan buffet only costs less than £10, so probably, I don't know how many dollars that is, maybe about $12 for a vegan buffet. So let's dig in and fill ourselves up. So the Swedish absolutely love candy, and apparently they eat more candy than per person than anywhere else on the planet. So we're going to take a look in this candy store at just how mad their selection is. That was an insane amount of candy, and I bought these Tutti Fruttis, gelatin-free vegan candy sweets. I've had them before. I had them in Malmo and they were really nice, so I'm gonna have another pack. I've come here to the Klippan Cultural Reserve, and this is a historical area where trade was built up all around this particular part in the 17th and 18th century, and that trade was conducted with India and China all through here, through this port in Gothenburg. So this lovely looking building here apparently was just warehouses. And directly across the street, this was the Swedish East India Company's offices. Both of these buildings were used for workers' residences. This one was used as a bakery. This whole block was a mixture of residences and also sort of storage. And this apparently was an inn. So we left that Klippan Historical Reserve and I'm walking back towards the central. I just saw this beautiful church, the Carl Johan Church. So just thought we'd take a look at it from the outside before continuing along our way. Let's go! Back at the central station again. A little drier than yesterday though. My train has been delayed, so I got this like free vegan bun and a small black coffee just because my train was delayed. Why didn't they do this in England? That's me at the top, going to Malmo before I change, expecting 1924 but actually coming at 2020. We've got an interesting situation here. Track 3, Malmo train is supposed to come in at 2020. This train is supposed to have left at 15:15. And it's 2020 and we don't know where the Malmo train is going to pull into. Can't really go anywhere if all the doors are still open. Latest update, they're going to delay it further till 15:30 to give the train that's out there the time to pull out. I just feel really bad for all these people that are lined up on the platform who quite clearly have a plane to catch. They've probably timed this exactly right so that they can go check in on time. And that time keeps escalating. It's gone up by another 4 minutes. That doesn't look like it's going to come in anytime soon. So apparently the train's just waiting outside the station, just waiting for the one that's on the platform to move out the way. Right, train's gone out, just waiting for another one to come back in. Just made it to Malmo Central, got to change onto a train that will take me to Copenhagen, then to the airport. Finally at the airport, about 3 hours after I was supposed to be here, but it doesn't matter, I'm waiting till tomorrow morning anyway, so whatever. It's funny, the word for chicken in Danish is quite apt when it ends up in a sandwich.